So today webinar is about ensuring continuous availability during DDoS attacks. And our agenda will be first introduction from DP Cloud, from us. I'm from DP Cloud. My name is Sergey. I'm General Manager of DP Cloud. We have also our colleagues here on the call. Bon Tola, he is Business Development, Head of Business Development. We have also Bon Charhu from DP Cloud. He is a team leader of digital marketing. Then we will go to main part presentation from Stormwall, the vendor and supplier of DDoS protection solution. And at the end, we'll have questions and answer session. All your questions that you will send during webinar in chat, in Facebook and Teams, we will go through those questions and then it will be answered. Okay, first I want to share with you a little bit about DP Cloud. For those who don't yet know who we are, yes, we are a Cambodian company. We are a national cloud provider, and we are here a strong competitor for to Amazon AWS or Google Cloud and DigitalOcean. Here we see on the screen is our data center, which we built on the 60-meter road on Hun Sen Boulevard on the way to Eon 3. So this is a beautiful building as a data center where we store our server storages, firewalls, and everything. And the cloud actually lives inside this nice building. And here you see our team, including me, Bontola, who is on the call now, and others. Mostly we are engineers because our business is high-tech business. Yes. So this is just to share with you what kind of services we provide: virtual private servers, web hosting, S3 storage, anti-DDoS, and so on. And soon coming early next month, DP Drive, which is a very unique service for Cambodia, and DP 2FA, which is also something interesting new for Cambodia first time. Yeah, this is you can go to our website and learn more about our services, because our webinar not about our services, our webinar about Stormwall solutions to protect and from DDoS attacks. Also a little bit about us, about DP Cloud. We are 100% up and running since January 24 when we launched our services, and currently more than 400 organizations and customers using us to host their servers, to host their websites, files at S3 storage, and so on, including protection from DDoS. And now coming to our webinar subject. Our subject is how enterprise, how organization can protect themselves from DDoS attacks, even from very high volume DDoS attacks. You know that DDoS attack result in revenue loss for companies, in reputation damage, like company losing face, customer not trust, and customers will leave that company. Usually DDoS attack can happen to banks, to mobile operators, to ISP, hospitals, microfinance, trading companies, gaming customers, yes. DP Cloud brought Stormwall to Cambodia, brought Stormwall solution for protecting from DDoS to Cambodia. We are a Stormwall partner here in Cambodia, and we will help companies and enterprises in Cambodia to protect themselves from those cybersecurity attacks. You know, when Cambodia had issues with Thailand from in the middle of last year, you know how many DDoS attacks happened. A lot of DDoS attacks happened from around the world to Cambodia. But those companies who are not protected well, they feel it very badly. And they have revenue loss, reputation damage, and so on. But those companies who protected well, same as DP Cloud, we not feel those damage from those DDoS attacks. Yes. So now we want to share our experience. We want to Stormwall share about their solution, how enterprises and any type of company can protect themselves, right? So yeah, this is our contacts. You can follow us on Facebook, LinkedIn. Now I would like to hand over stage to Mr. Kirill. He is from Stormwall. He will do the presentation, the main part of presentation. You can see him, yes, here.
Yes, hello, everybody. Thank you, Sergey. Hi. Let me also share the screen with you guys so you would have a bit more visuals to the to my presentation. So yeah, thank you all for joining us today. My name is Kirill Sorokin. I'm a senior sales manager at Stormwall, and I'm really glad actually to be here together with our partner from DP Cloud for this joint webinar that we have. So yeah, today we're going to talk about something that keeps a lot of IT and business leaders at night, which is DDoS attacks, but not in a scary, abstract way, but in a very practical one. What's actually happened in the region, why is it matters to your business specifically, and what you can do about it. So yeah, over the next 30 to 40 minutes, I'll walk you through the current threat landscape in APAC, explain how modern DDoS protection actually works, and show you what Stormwall actually brings to the table as a global cybersecurity partner. So yeah, let's get right into it. Before I do that, please confirm that you see the screen right now, the presentation. Yeah, great. Okay, so we can start right here. So before we go actually further, let's make sure that we are all speaking the same language, because DDoS is one of those terms you've heard, but not everyone means the same thing about it. So a DDoS attack, or distributed denial of service, is essentially a flood. Attackers send massive volumes of traffic to your system from thousands of sources simultaneously. So the goal is simple: overwhelm your infrastructure until it falls over and real users can get through or access the resources. And DDoS protection is the process of detecting that flood, separating the malicious traffic from legitimate traffic, and blocking the bad stuff before it reaches you. And here's something that is really, really concerning, that launching a DDoS attack can literally cost $0. There are free tools, there are botnets for hire, and there are hacktivist groups that will do that for any ideological reasons. But the damage it causes, actually, unfortunately, it's never free. So on the right side, you can actually see the OCI model, the layered architecture of how network communicates. So basically, DDoS attacks, they target layer 3 through 7. That means everything from the raw network flooding at the infrastructure level all the way up to the application layer. Attacks that look like a normal web traffic. So the higher the stack they go, the harder they are to detect and stop in real life. And now a little bit about what's actually at stake when the DDoS attack hits. So there's 4 main categories of risk, and I encourage you to think about which ones hit closest home to you, to your specific organization. So the first one is the most obvious, of course, is the financial losses. Downtime costs money directly in lost transactions and in SLA penalties if you have some service commitment to your customers. For e-commerce, a single hour offline peak can mean thousands of dollars. So that's a sad situation for them. The next one would be reputational damage, which is often underestimated. When the service go down, customers don't always wait patiently. They tweet about it or ask about it. They post about it, they tell their colleagues, and then that loss of trust that can actually will not disappear when the attack is going to be stopped. And of course, indirect threats are perhaps the most dangerous and least discussed. DDoS is frequently used as a smokescreen. While your security team is focused on the flood traffic, attackers may be quietly slipping through backdoor to steal some data or plan some sort of malware. So DDoS isn't just an availability option. It can be the first step to a much, much larger breach. And Finally, of course, the technical collapse. A sustained attack does not just slow things down. It can physically damage the network equipment, exhaust bandwidth contracts, and leave your team scrambling for recover for days. So the key takeaway here, DDoS risk is not just a technical problem, it's a business problem. And we can look at the region, specifically what's happening, and these numbers came from the Stonewall own APAC attack report of 2025, based on the real attack data that we observed and mitigated. So of course, DDoS attacks in the APAC grew by 106% in 2025 compared to the 2024. And that's not a slight uptick. There's a real threat, literally doubling in 1 year. We mitigated 4.2 million incidents in the region, nearly double the year before. Multi-vector attacks, the attacks that hit multiple layers at the same time, from 3 to 7, grew by 83%. This matters because it means the attackers are getting smarter. They're not just flooding bandwidth anymore. They're combining the network layer floods with application layer attacks to overwhelm basically both your pipes and servers at the same time. The average attack power has up. The layer 7 attack are also up. And the peak attack that we mitigated in the region is 1.6 terabits per second. And for context, that's enough traffic to knock out the infrastructure of most mid-sized countries. So the conclusion is uncomfortable, but pretty clear. APAC is pretty not the quiet corner of the internet that it's been maybe a couple years ago, but the attacks are rising tremendously and fast in the region. So the protection is something that should think about. So if we take a look at the breakdown by the countries, it's an interesting story, actually. India in the APAC region leads with 20% of all the attacks, up from 19% the year before. China is second at 18%, but look at the growth story. So Indonesia jumped from 9 to 15, so nearly doubled. Malaysia went from 5 to 12, more than double. And Pakistan entered the top list as a new participant at 10%. And Cambodia, actually, where our partner DP Cloud operates, also appears on the map. And that's actually significant. Historically, the smaller markets in Southeast Asia weren't primary targets. And that's changing. As the digital infrastructure grows and cloud adoption accelerates, attackers follow that. So it's a no-brainer. So the pattern we see across the APAC region is pretty consistent, I would say. Whether digital service grow, attack volume follows. So the countries are considering too small to bother with or increasingly finding themselves to be on the radar. And it isn't to cause the alarm. It's just to say the threat is real, it's regional, and it's growing, and growing. And it's not just about the volume of the attacks that are increasing, actually, it's the quality. And I use the word quality reluctantly because it's not actually something to admire. Indonesia is now the largest global source of SDP DDoS traffic. 7 of the top 10 global attack sources are located in Asia, and this region is just a target. It's basically it's increasingly the origin. In the first half of 2025, we saw geopolitical-driven activism dominate. Nation-state aligned groups launch ideological attacks. In the second half, there was a clear shift towards, I would say, profit-driven attacks, extortion, disruption for hire, any ransom demands would take place in that second part of the year. The botnet size grew 4 times. And here's one data point that still surprises me when I say it out loud, that probe activity and reconnaissance before attack increased approximately 10,000 times year over year. And that means that attackers, they are spending much more time scanning the network, identifying vulnerabilities. So basically where to hit and prepare before they do the striking. So it's really calculated, really timed. And attackers, yeah, they becoming more targeted, more sophisticated, and unfortunately, harder to stop. Yeah. So I can give you actually two concrete examples of what we are actually dealing with as a DDoS protection company. So the first one is Suru, a botnet operating 1 to 4 million compromised devices, and has been responsible for record attack reaching up to 31.4 terabits per second. And it operates on a DDoS for hire model. So that means everyone with a credit card can rent it. It's not a metaphor. That's just their business model. And that is a bit frightening. So the next one, the other one, is Kimmel, which is even more interesting and more alarming. It infected 1.8 million Android TV boxes across Asia, not PCs, not servers, televisions. So smart home devices, it used 1.7 billion commands in a 3-day period. And it used blockchain-based command and control infrastructure, which means that you can take it down by seizing a server. There's no central point to shut it off. So it's basically always running. And that is unfortunately the new reality that we live in. So botnets built from household devices operating on a massive scale, and sounds and all of that looks really, really frustrating. So the whole idea is that our infrastructure is too small to be target. It doesn't hold anymore, unfortunately. Modern bot attacks basically work on a scale, and the collateral damage that could basically affect anyone is enormous. So now let's look at the list of the industry specifically. And by volume, if you take a look, the government service take 27% of all the attacks in APAC region. Telecom is the second at 18 and retail 14. Telecommunication, transportation at 12. And those are actually expected targets. So that's usual suspects, I would say. But the growth rates are where the story gets interesting. So the government attacks grew 103% year over year, transportation 84, and healthcare 71. And healthcare at 71 grow is something that actually really frightening. These hospitals, medical system, diagnose platforms, these are being attacked at a dramatically increased rate. And yeah, it's not a business problem, I would think. It's a patient safety issue, which is alarming. Energy sector grew 68%. And actually, for any organization, for a DDoS attack is not a question of if already, as you can see from the industries, is the question of when. So yeah, that is what actually not just me, but data shows that every industry is can be affected by it. So to be more specific, let me show you exactly how fast things can go because the timeline surprises most people when they see it. So a typical DDoS attacks unfold in stages. So in the first 2 minutes, the attackers completes vulnerability analysis and the network scanning. Then figuring out what you have, where you have it, where the gaps are. By the minute 4, they've activated the botnet and accumulated resources. By minute 6, the first wave hits. A layer 3 UDP flood usually starts consuming your bandwidth. Minute 8, layer 4 and 5 attacks layer on top. SYN packet floods start exhausting your connection tables. By minute 10, layer 7 kicks in. HTTP and API floods look like legitimate traffic, start hitting your web applications. And by minute 12, you're already at 100% of resource utilization. And by the minute 15, you have a widespread service failure, unfortunately, and a complete outage. So 15 minutes, that's all it takes from the first scan to the full outage. And the implication is obvious, but worth stating. You cannot respond to a DDoS attacks manually in time. By the time a human notices something is wrong, opens a ticket, and starts troubleshooting, it's already over. You can see it's just 15 minutes. So protection has to be automatic. It has to be pre-configured and activates before the attack even begins. That is something that was considering. So as we are talking about manual and active, so what does a DDoS protection actually look like, especially the modern one. So those are kind of non-negotiables for cybersecurity landscape that we see nowadays. So the first one is, of course, L3, L7 protection. Given everything we just saw about multi-vector attacks, a solution that only handles network layer floods or only web application, not enough. You need protection that covers the full stack. What protection? Not all malicious traffic is DDoS attack. A significant portions are automated bots, so you have to take care of that too. Vendor managed configuration. So that means that your team, we strongly suggest that, don't need to be a DDoS experts to be protected. So the right partner, as Stonewall does, manage all that complexity for you. Of course, the dashboard, real-time visibility matter. You should always know what's happening. You should know what's being blocked, where the traffic, what the pattern traffic look like. So, and you don't have to call the support to do that. It has to be available at your disposal 24/7. Unlimited functionality, of course, because every business is different. Protection that forces you into some sort of pattern, one size fit them all rule set, always have gaps. It has to be adjustable. Of course, it has to be scalable, of course. Attacks grow, as I just showed you, 84, 160% growth year over year. The solution also should grow automatically once the demand or attacks are rising. And of course, the local point of presence, this one matters when people realize that the latency is the issue. So, and of course, when we talk about not only low latency, but the better compliance with the local regulatory. So that is also a great point. And of course, fast support. When you're under attack, a 48-hour ticket response is not a support, unfortunately. It's just abandonment. So you have to have fast and efficient support. So that said, let me tell you a bit, just a few words about who we are, because trust in the security partner is not something that should be taken for granted. So we, as Stonewall, we've been on the market for been in business for over 12 years, and we focus exclusively on DDoS protection. We're not a firewall vendor that added DDoS protection as a add-on or a CDN company with some scrubbing on the side. This is all we do. The only thing that we do, and we're very good at it. We have over 1,300 active customers across multiple industries and regions, and a global team of 130 professionals operating out of the offices in Bratislava and Dubai. So our client router, as you can see a little below, speaks for itself. ISPs and telecom operators, cloud and hosting providers, retail brands, bank institution, gaming companies. So we've protected organizations across the full range of digital infrastructure. So from basically small landing pages to government level internet providers. And we are international cybersecurity as a service company, which means you don't buy a box, you don't deploy a hardware on premise, you don't need a team of engineers. You connect to the cloud, and we're gonna handle the rest. That's in a nutshell. And that is our infrastructure that makes everything that I said before possible. So Stonewall operates a global filtering network with over 8 terabits of filtering capacity. And that is the capacity that you have at your disposal to absorb and clean the attack traffic. And as you can see by those points of presence that are common in 2026, we are actively expanding the network that we have. So we are heavily present across the globe, and specifically in the APAC region, we have a point of presence in Hong Kong, in Singapore, and in Jakarta. And why does geography matter in this case? Because when the attack hits, traffic needs to be rerouted to the scrubbing center it cleaned before it reaches you. So the closer the scrubbing center is, the faster the mitigation, the lower the latency impact on your legitimate users, and the better the compliance story with your data, local data regulatories, of course. So this is where we are right now. And what about this particular services that we provide? It is basically, we are talking today about two core products lines that are designed to cover different protection scenarios. So the first one is Stonewall for Network. that is built for organizations that own IP address and space and autonomous systems. So ISPs, telcos, data centers, cloud and hosting providers, basically any large enterprise with an internal work infrastructure. And if you have BGP routable network, this is your solution. The other one is Toml servers, is built for protecting specific servers, online games, IPTV, email structure VPN services. So if you have servers running public-facing TCP/UDP services and you need those services to stay alive under attack, that is the service for you. So together, those two services cover the vast majority of protection scenarios we encounter in the market, and they can be deployed in combination for organizations that need actually both. So let me go into a bit more details about each. So we're going to start off with the protection of network. And basically, in a nutshell, Stonewall protection for network protects your AS and IP prefixes against L3, L5 DDoS attacks via BGP prefix announcement to a cloud. So here's how it works. Your traffic routed through Stonewall, we inspect it, we drop everything malicious, and we deliver clean traffic back to your network, whether it's IP jury tunnel, direct connection, IX also possible. So UDP floods, SYN floods, amplification attacks stopped at the perimeter before they even reaches your routers. And there are three deployment models, as you can see here. The first one, always on, which is exactly as it sounds like, continuous monitoring and protection 24/7. This is the gold standard for such organizations with the that can even afford a small window of downtime of exposure. The second one, on demand, is manual. So basically, that means that the customer is announcing prefixes to us only in case of the attack. This works well for organizations with, I would say, lower risk profile, and those who want a cost-optimized approach, and the latency is not one of the main things they should worry about. And last but not least is the VIA DDoS sensor is in the middle ground. So basically, a sensor solution, some sort of software should be implemented on your network. There are a bunch of solutions out there which are going to detect an attack and automatically triggers the BGP announcement. So basically, it detects the attack and we announce the prefix to Stonewall automatically. So no human intervention required, but you're not the routing through us during normal periods, meaning it's only during the attack, and once the attack is stopped, the routing will be back to the original. So these solutions scales to any attack volume and supports all prefix sizes, starting /24, of course, as the internet suggests, and any type of backup schemes. And of course, about the benefits, who can benefit from those particular services, specifically with the network, is of course the ISPs. They face channel overloads and most customers complain when the attack happens, so our solution block those attacks at the perimeter. Financial institutions, they face the attacks on the network link, internal infrastructure, so we protect the network and perimeter and keep the critical nodes available. Telecom operators, they also deal with a lot of DDoS on client segments, especially SLA exposure. So for those, we provide a scalable filtering and, of course, which is also important, white label solution, which means that you can offer DDoS protection as a value-added service to your own customer under your own brand. And data centers, they basically face nightmare scenarios when one client under attack that affects all the neighbors around him. So we isolate that attack to the specific perimeter, protecting basically the broader infrastructure. And of course, last but not least, hosting providers and cloud platforms deal with attacks on the client ISPs every single day. So we protect those IP blocks, reduce incident volume, and makes SLA commitments credible for those hosting in cloud platforms. Now, up for the servers. So it's basically the product for protecting public-facing TCP/UDP servers. The architecture is pretty clean, so destined to your traffic to your service arrives at Stonewall Cloud first, we filter it, we clear the traffic, and then we pass to you through the IP tunnel or via our reverse proxy for Windows environment if necessary. So your service real IP is never exposed in this case. And yeah, as I said, there's two connection scenarios. So basically GRE or IPsec tunnel. This would be the standard approach for Unix-based systems and network equipment. It's pretty fast, efficient, and low overhead. And the second one is reverse proxy, which is for Windows Server environments where tunnel configuration is a bit more complex. So, but what exactly makes this product stand out is the flexibility. So it protects any custom port, any specialized TCP UDP protocol, online gaming service running properly protocols, IPTV, multicast streams, SIP-based VoIP infrastructure. We've seen it all and we protected it all. So we have a huge customer base specifically on that service only. And of course, about the benefits. And there are a few obvious categories of customers who can benefit from this is, of course, the online games. They face DDoS constantly. Competitors knocking out tournaments, refresh targeting services, whatever it might be. So we provide a solid L3, L5 protection for filtering and specifically keeping the ping stable for those online games. VPN services run over UDP, which makes them an attractive flood target. So tunnel protection and pre-server filtering keeps the service up even during the attack. Email services, VoIP IP telephony, and IPTV, all of those three use cases are also really workable and important because they all suffer particular attacks such as SMP, IMAP ports. For the VoIP, they are particularly sensitive to the packet loss, which is no-brainer. And of course, IPTV suffers from buffering. So all of those issues can be fixed with the solution from Stormwall. And I want to show you something real. This is an actual traffic graph from our infrastructure on February 19, 2026. So basically a couple of months back. You can see the baseline traffic running along the bottom, normal, completely managed, and then the sudden spike hitting nearly 3 terabits per second in UDP traffic. And this spike lasted minutes. We absorbed it, filtered it, and kept the traffic clean flow to our client. They probably got a notification about that, as all the customer does, but the users noticed nothing at all. And this is not an exceptional event for us, to be honest. We regularly handle attacks from 100 gigabits to over 3 terabits, multiple times per day across our network. And this is just, a Tuesday morning for our operational team, for our anti-DDoS team. And I'll show you this not to kind of impress you, but to make the point concrete that the scale of the attacks is real, it's happening now. And the difference between having solution and not having is basically having the protection and not having is the difference between that spike affecting your users or not, or even not even the spike. You can see even before the spike, the traffic was really impressive for those companies who are not having any protection in place. And another thing that protection, I believe, is good as you have visibility into it. And let me show you what you actually get with Stormwall. As I said, we are providing the cybersecurity as a service, not just something out of the box. And you have the clear visual of everything which is going on. It's a full feature management interface that you can learn in minutes, genuinely not really easy to use. And our sales team can show you a lab demo, for example, to give you a brief introduction how it works for you to be able to independently use that. But of course, you can always use it with the help of the support team. They will be happy to do anything for you if necessary. So what's inside, you can see here, it's real-time analytics, customizable filtering rules, attack history. So every incident logged with all the attack types, the duration, the mitigation outcome, anti-bot functionality. So it is the challenge response and behavioral analysis, automated attack notifications, That is really a vital thing. Detailed PDF reports from ready for management, auditors, or even the clients, the customers, and of course the sub account and role management. That give different team members the right level of access without sharing root credential. So it's really important to use across the team. And of course, one more thing is the local scrub and pop. So specifically highlighting in the APAC region. So we don't just have a global network, we have point of presence in Jakarta. So it's really, so why does it matter? So of course, it's the speed. When attack hits, traffic needs to reach scrubbing center to be cleaned as fast as possible. Regional threat intelligence. We see what's happening in the specific traffic environment, and that help us to detect the specific attack patterns in order to deal with that later. Stability, of course, less distance means fewer hubs. Compliance, many organizations, specifically in APAC, have data residency requirements, so local POP makes it easier. And of course, cost efficiency, less upstream bandwidth consumed hauling, across all the continents. So we aren't just a global vendor operating from across the globe. We even we try to be present locally as much as possible. So yeah, it's really convenient for the customers to have that options at the disposal. So we actually almost done here, guys. So the last slide for me would be just to summarize a bit about us as a vendor. So let me bring this together with the key reasons why our existing customers choose us and keep staying with us. So of course, the 13 years of focus on DDoS. So not cybersecurity broadly, no, not working broadly, DDoS specifically. So let me get back to it. For some reason jumped. Yeah. So DDoS specifically. L3, L7 filtering. Multi-vector attacks require multi-layer defense. We cover this in the full stack. So full service suite. We provide anti-DDoS for L3. We provide web application firewall, anti-bot, whatever you need from a single vendor with a single integration. Client portal, it's actually usable and real people with no tech experience can use that, not only engineers. So that is a good thing, I believe. So the clean traffic billing, you only pay for the traffic we deliver to you clean. During the attack, when we absorbing terabits of that garbage, I would say, on your behalf, we're not charging you for that traffic specifically. It's a model that aligns with, I think, everyone. So because you cannot know how big the attack is going to be, how often the attack are going to be. This is something that Stonewall takes care of. We only take care of specific bandwidth of the clean traffic that you have. Of course, the fast and free emergency deployment. So if you're under attack, you can basically just have us give us a call, reach out in some way, and we will have you protected within minutes. So that happens many times already. Customers always reach out and do that. So we are happy to assist if that is something that is happening. Also provide website protection without SSL decryption for those companies that require PCI DSS compliance. And of course, the thing I believe we are mostly proud of is the 24/7 support that we have with the 15 minutes response time. So not 24 hours, not 4 hours, 15 minutes, because if you're under attack, that's the only response time that counts, the support reaction time. Yeah. So I believe that will be it, guys, for my presentation. So thank you for your time and for your attention today. I hope this actually gives you a bit of a clear picture of the threat environment we are all operating in the APAC and the concrete sense of what Stonewall can do to address it, basically. And yeah, if you're currently unprotected or you have questions about your existing setup, generally encouraged to reach out since we offer a 30-day free trial of the service that we provide. No commitment, full feature access. So you could see the product in your own environment with your own traffic and see if this is a good fit. Yeah, you can scan QR code or just reach out to the contacts or contact the local partner that we have, which is a DP Cloud. So, and of course, I'm happy to take questions now. before you let me go. So if you have any, feel free to share in the chat. If there's, I think I will happy to jump in and answer them. So thank you very much, guys.
Thank you very much, Kirill, Stormwall, for this excellent presentation, sharing the insight, sharing brief about Stormwall anti-DDoS services. It was very clear, it was very engaging, and please, all the participants who on the call, if you have any questions, please send it in chat. We are ready to answer. And okay, so maybe we give a little bit time you think and type your questions, if any. What I want to share also that we, DP Cloud, we are also well protected. We also using Stormwall services by ourselves. That's why our customers who host with us, whatever it is, website or maybe backend for mobile app or e-commerce, or it is a solution for the microfinance or banks, all of our customers are well protected from DDoS attacks because we are using Stormwall. I want to share also with you from our DP Cloud experience that actually a lot of attacks happening all the time, and we can see it because we are a cloud provider, yes, and we protect all our customers, and we can see that a lot of attacks in Cambodia happening to gaming servers, the one who run online games. There are a number of this gaming service with us in DP Cloud, also gaming websites selling skins, armors, or other things for games. They also under frequent attack. Some attacks to financial sector enterprises like banks, MFI, also especially trading companies. Also under risk of DDoS attacks, even small project, growing project, let's say startup that on a growing stage or a scaling stage. It can be apps, e-commerces, maybe some of you also doing your new startup projects or growing projects, scaling projects that you may be under risk of DDoS attacks as well, because nowadays small DDoS attack can be organized at quite very cheap, let's say, cost. Like bad guys can do a small DDoS attack at quite cheap cost, but the consequences for companies to whom those DDoS attacks are directed is can be very high. And of course, large DDoS attacks they're expensive, and there are no way how we can protect other than use services as Stormwall show today. Okay, I see
yeah,
some.
guys, yeah, actually typing the questions. Maybe I should just answer them by voice. That would be a better way, I guess. One already answered the question about how to know whether the VPNs are attacked or not. The other question, thank you, by the way, guys, for the questions. The other one is how many ways to prevent our website from DDoS attacks? Well, there's multiple ways. Depends on what protection you might have. So for example, in Stormwall, we have multiple protection modes for websites. It's starting with redirect, simple redirect, and then it comes with the JavaScript validation, JavaScript advanced validation. So that goes interactive and non-interactive checks. And of course, the last resort will be the capture. But those are only the protection modes. There's multiple ways. Sometimes attackers might be hitting the specific location within your website. So let's say some sort of form, or maybe some of the, well, let's say it's form, right? You can just set the location filter to that. So for example, not more than 15 requests per minute from a single IP address, because if that's not something that a real human would do, click reload that many times. So that definitely malicious traffic, and that will be basically automatically blocked. So those are just the ways, and those are, I think, just, you know, the type of the iceberg. There's a lot of filtering mechanisms, a lot of things that you can do. Of course, there are things you can do on your side, but it has to be some sort of knowledgeable, technical gentleman, which is aware how to do that. Most of the time, of course, we encourage to trust the professionals to do that, and that would be the best way. I hope that answers the question. The other one, if I use other VPS, can I use Stonewall for protection or only for DP VPS? Yeah, you can use basically for any VPS, not specifically for DP. That would be a lovely addition. But if this is something that doesn't work with your fit, that's fine. You can just reach out. The DP Cloud, they will help you out to set up everything on your existing one. So yeah, it doesn't matter where your server is located. It's just, it has to be the server with some operating system. If it is Linux, we're gonna erase the tunnel. If it is Windows, it's gonna be the reverse proxy option. So it doesn't matter what it is. Thank you guys for your questions. If you have some more, please feel free to drop them in the chat. I'd be happy to answer.
Okay, seems no more questions yet. Do we have any question on Facebook live stream? Just a moment, let us check. Yes, again, let us wait 1-2 minutes more. About VPS, for our DP Cloud VPS, we always have anti-DDoS protection, and if you want stronger, like premium ultimate anti-DDoS protection, then you just can contact us, chat to us. We do it by ourselves, or we do it with Stonewall. And Stonewall is the best service from Stonewall is for organization that has their own servers, their own data lines to internet. And by the way, we have also DP Cloud. We have our own layer 7 protection. It's called DP WAF, Web Application Firewall. You can go to our website, dpdatacenter.com, and check what is it. Okay, now we don't have any questions more on Facebook, and seems here also no questions. So I would like to say thank to everyone for your time, for joining this webinar, listening, and we will also share recording from this webinar. You can get it. I believe we will share in our social media and our Telegram group, Telegram channel. You can join also our Telegram channel to get the latest updates about us, our services, and about what is happening in Cambodian IT. And thanks to Kirill and Stonewall for making this great presentation and for sharing very interesting thing about DDoS statistic and especially about your product. This is
My pleasure.
Let's say,
my pleasure.
Yes, let's say it's one of the first steps of Stonewall in Cambodia. Stonewall is one of the best players in DDoS protection around the world, and we hope Stonewall will get more enterprise customers here in Cambodia very soon. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you guys. Thank you for having me. Cheers,
Yeah,
everybody. Have a
thanks.
great
Yeah,
day.
thank you. Thank you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you guys. Bye bye.